Hi, I'm Elle, and you're on day 10 of my succession course for you. Today's word is the word crisis, which is very different from most of my C words. Most of my C words are pumping you up, but I thought I needed to talk a bit about what happens when a big crisis hits us. How can we stop triggering stress when the big stuff hits? I've talked a lot about the little stuff. Little stuff like trying to get into my door with my key. With the dog food, all these little things that happen to me where I have to stop releasing the stress response. When you on a daily basis practice using these tools in the small stuff, when the big stuff hits you, these tools will be at your fingertips. You will be able to breathe. You will be able to stay up with your posture when the big stuff hits so that you can stay more pressure-free. What about when we feel great sadness, when the death occurs in a family or something really awful happens? How do we deal with it then? I can share a real-life experience that has happened to me. My son was graduating from high school, and it was about 2 hours before we were about to throw his big open house party. Suddenly, I was completely overwhelmed with grief that my parents were deceased and wouldn't be with us on this very special day. They would have flown out from New Hampshire or driven out and spent the weeks with us beforehand, planning the party and having the party with us. It would have been so marvelous, and I went through all these emotions about it. But suddenly I realized that in most cases I would start to trigger anger when I felt sadness. But on this day I wanted to stay up. I didn't want to release my stress hormones. So I kept breathing, even though I was crying. I stayed up. I did not release the stress hormones, and then I did not trigger into anger, which is what I would typically do when I would feel sadness. I'd start to get angry about the fact that they died, angry about heart attacks and cancer, the things that took them from us. I'd start to get very angry, and I realized, no, I don't need to do that. I can just let this sadness overtake me for a moment without triggering anger. And that's exactly what I did on that morning of that party. I let sadness overtake me. And I felt sadness perhaps for the first time in my life in the most profound way. I'm getting a little choked up here, sorry. But it's real. When we're sad about something, when we're grieving loss, it's very, very real. But we can actually not release stress hormones if we don't trigger anger, if we stay in the sadness only. And keep breathing. Keep using one of our tools. Maybe we can't smile, but we can breathe. Sometimes it's hard when you're crying. And let that release out. It's fine to let that release out. But anger's going to trigger the stress response on us. It's very subtle. It takes time. But as you start every day using your tools in the small stuff, they will be there for you when the big stuff hits. When you experience a job loss, you'll be able to keep breathing so that you can find solutions to this loss, so you can journal and write your dreams and goals and get concrete action going. When you have those stress hormones going through you, all you do is fear. You feel threatened by everything. And when the crisis hits, you need to be calm. You need to be able to deal with it. So keep practicing, keep using your tools, playing around with your tools to find which ones are working for you in your situation. So when the crisis hits, you'll have more resources to help you through it. I'm Elle. I'm wishing you a fabulous, pressure-free day. And if you are dealing with crisis, keep playing with these tools. I know that they can help you.